I'll leave you.
We interrupt this program for a special report from 6 News.
Elvis Presley is dead. The 42-year-old king of rock and roll died this afternoon in his Memphis, Tennessee mansion of apparent respiratory failure. A spokesman at Baptist Hospital says the singer, who rocketed to fame and fortune in the 1950s, was found stricken about 2:30 p.m. by Joe Esposito, his road manager. Esposito tried to revive Presley without success while an ambulance raced to his Graceland mansion. Elvis' personal physician met the ambulance at Baptist and also failed to revive him. Presley was a national legend before he reached his 25th birthday. His long-playing records were the fastest-selling albums in history. The sales reached astronomical levels in the 8 figures. He was born in Tupelo, Mississippi on January 8, 1935 to Vernon and Gladys Presley. His father brought him a cheap guitar, and his mother recalled he liked the guitar best of all things. She said Elvis would sit in front of the radio picking out melodies or play the phonograph trying to learn the songs he heard. Elvis Presley had been scheduled for a Hartford concert. Just 2 weeks ago, fans lined up outside the Hartford Civic Center, waiting for days and even hours to get tickets for the appearance. Civic Center Director Frank Russo says ticket refunds will begin tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at point of purchase only. Russo says refunds will be made only if tickets are returned to the outlet where they were sold.
CBS News. Elvis Presley, the one-time king of popular music, is dead at the age of 42. This is Doug Poling reporting on the CBS radio network. Presley was stricken this afternoon at his mansion in Memphis, Tennessee, and rushed to Baptist Hospital. Memphis Police Director E. Winslow Chapman says a doctor was with him.
Mr. Presley's personal physician, Dr. Nicopolis, was the one that called for the ambulance. He was the one that was with him when the ambulance arrived, and he is the doctor that pronounced him dead at Baptist Hospital.
Hospital officials said Presley was suffering from respiratory distress. His doctor says he may have suffered a heart attack. He had been hospitalized recently for several conditions, including eye trouble and exhaustion. Presley helped revolutionize popular music in the 1950s. His twangy guitar and gyrating hips made him a teenage idol as well as a fortune.
From the newsroom, we interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special bulletin.
Elvis Presley died this afternoon at Baptist Hospital, Memphis, Tennessee. Doctors say he may have suffered a heart attack. The actual cause of death will have to wait until a complete post-mortem examination can be completed. However, a spokeswoman for the Memphis Police Department says detectives are investigating what she called, and we quote, a strong possibility that death may have been the result of a drug overdose.
Elvis Presley was found dead in his home this afternoon by his road manager. I talked to Joe Esposito and another friend of Elvis's this afternoon.
Well, he was upstairs in his bedroom, and I went upstairs to talk to him, and he wasn't breathing when I got up there.
Was he lying on the bed?
Yeah.
Has he been responded over anything or anything?
I have no idea. They were getting ready to do a tour starting tomorrow, and so he was in a very good mood, very frame.
Fantastic mood last night. I talked to him last night, and we discussed some songs we were going to do on the tour and everything. He was in a great mood.
None whatsoever.
How do you feel about this?
I can't believe it. I just... It's not real.
No, it's not. It's our friend.
Good evening. It didn't even matter a great deal whether you liked Elvis or not. It changed our lives. So were a lot of other people, parts of our lives, but they didn't change things. Manavani played Charmaine 1,000 times, and we heard it on the radio in elevators and dentist offices, but it didn't change anything. Elvis Presley did. He changed the way then teenaged America thought about things, about public entertainers and pop music and popular attitudes toward living and behaving and dressing and talking. And so when he died today of some kind of heart ailment at the age of 42, people felt a sense of loss whether they ever liked his singing or not, particularly in Memphis, where he lived.
How would you describe what you feel right now?
I don't know, I just can't hardly believe it.
I can't believe it. I just can't. I've been a fan of Elvis since I was 16 years old. My dream came, but I'll always love him.
The king, he really was. And there was only one king, and now that he's gone, well, you just gotta keep on going. That's the way he'd want it. I just figured, well, he's upstairs playing to the biggest audience there ever was.
I think it was the greatest. That's what I think. There'll never be another one like him. To me, he'll live in the hearts of people forever.
The undisputed king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, is dead. He died this afternoon here in his adopted hometown of Memphis after apparently collapsing at his South Memphis mansion. He was transported by ambulance to Baptist Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. No cause of death has been given yet, but an early report from a hospital vice president indicates Presley was suffering from respiratory distress. Presley had been a frequent patient at Baptist Hospital during the last 2 years. It was rumored that he was suffering from various incurable diseases, but his doctors blamed the frequent hospitalizations on eye trouble, a twisted colon, and exhaustion. Earlier this year, he canceled performances in Louisiana and returned here to Memphis and was hospitalized with exhaustion. The local Chamber of Commerce is calling on the mayor and the city council to declare a day of mourning in memory of Elvis, and the mayor has ordered all flags in the city to be flown at half-staff. This is Dan Osborne for CBS News, Memphis.
Presley's show business friends, as well as his legions of fans, are mourning tonight. Sammy Davis Jr. was asked how the performer would rate on a scale of 1 to 10.
Well, he's got to be 11, Ed. I'm not saying that because of the tragedy of the moment, but because anybody in this business of ours that can become one of a kind, he's the one, the only, the original. Everybody else is an imitator. It came after him.
Sammy Davis Jr. Funeral arrangements for Elvis Presley are not yet complete.
42-year-old entertainer was taken there after being found unconscious in his bedroom. Reaction to the entertainer's death is mixed, as cited here by WBBM's Bob Crawford, who found a man on the street view late this afternoon.
More reaction than anybody else I know died, or don't know died. You didn't care for his music? Not much. Believe it or not, my mother did. Did you ever listen to his music? Sure. But I'm more of a Beatles fan.
WBBM then made contact with ex-Chicago disc jockey Dick Biondi, who remembers many great achievements credited to Presley. Biondi talks about one of them.
The one thing that stands out in my mind is that I've talked about so often quickly is a little boy in Buffalo that had suffered 90-something degree burns on his body, and during his recuperation listened to Elvis and loved him, and went to see him, and went backstage, but Elvis had left. And Colonel Parker had faked an autograph and said, "Come see me if you're ever in Memphis." And the boy went to Memphis, walked up to the gate, and presented Elvis's uncle the autograph said, "To my pal," and the boy's name in it said Elvis Presley. And the uncle somehow or other, led by the right direction or some unforeseen, that brought the boy in. Elvis had never seen the boy, and yet made him his guest for 3 days.
Doctors at Baptist Hospital in Memphis are trying to determine the cause of death.
Well, I'll tell you, of course, my wife and I, you've known us for years.
Right.
Many, many years.
Right.
We were in Memphis last night, and I even made contact out at the house to make sure that he was doing fine last night, and they told me that he was sleeping, that, it was just a normal evening.
Yeah.
And that they were getting ready to go on the tour. And so, everything was fine.
Well,
I get back to Nashville this afternoon, and I come in the office and sit down, and all of a sudden I was seized by phone calls from news media that Elvis Presley died. Until I heard it on the radio myself, I didn't believe it.